Hello everyone and welcome to When Miners Capture Season 27 of WMC. As of recording, we are at the end of May at a crisp 26 degrees or so Celsius. It is really hot in here, but I'm going to manage and try my best to provide some entertainment and insightful commentary for you all for the next 2 hours or so. And without further ado, let's speak of the game of the season, the Pokeball capture mechanic, as I would like to call it. So, for those that play the Pokemon games, you might know of the Pokeball, the Great Ball, the Ultra Ball, the Master Ball, so on and so forth. I guess we all just have our inner Master Ball this time around, because every 30 seconds, you are allowed to capture a mob of sorts. And you can have that spawn's egg inside your inventory, and you can throw it around whenever you like. You can unfortunately have any remote captures, but if you have an open hand like this, then you pop up at a map, then you got what you need. And you can do that with most mobs, which is pretty exciting. Someone probably going to use that as weapons, some are probably just going to do that for the fun of it. But I'm very excited to see how the clever strategies that might unfold from this. My strategy this season, if you may ask, I think I'm going to try and go a little aggressive, see how that goes. I barely do that sort of thing, and it'd be kind of exciting to see what happens if people are up to the challenge and, you know, want to tussle a little bit. But other than that, I don't have many plans. I'm excited to see where we might end up. Okay, just making sure we have sound. We are, and so we are good to go. So, what's been going on since last we spoke? That feels like it was a year by now. Probably is by the time you see this. Not too much is going on. In all fairness, I've been not exactly laid off and not working at the moment due to the stuff and things happening. You know all what it is at this point. It's gonna be a relic from the past by the time this is out, so I've been taking my time doing my projects, animating a bunch of stuff. It's very exciting, but I've decided not to mention any of that this time around. I'm very sorry to give you a tease like that, but I'm not gonna mention anything details. Because there's one thing I realized as an artist, is that the moment I start talking about the stuff I make, my motivation for it just booms and plummets to the floor, never to reveal itself again. Just to show you how the capture mechanic works, here you go. Here's the capture ticket, and I can throw it, and there you go. It's pretty cool. Let me give you a little message in chat that you got it right. Pretty nifty, if I do say so myself. Hello, buddy. Yeah, so that's sort of the stuff I've been doing. You might be able to expect some finished projects from that by the end of 2020. No clear ETA on that, but I hope that you will get to see some fruits of that labor by the end of this year. So, hope so. One thing I suppose that should be mentioned is that we are playing in 1.12, so we should have our shields, our little charge mechanic for all our weapons and tools. Things to keep in mind. I think crossbows are still a thing in this, by 1.12. But I kind of want to play around with that, but we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of unsure about my game strategy in this season. The Nether is on, so that'd be kind of fun just to go in there, but I feel like a bunch of people are going to do that, because it's exciting to capture the dangerous Nether mobs. You know, as you do. So without further ado, I think I want to try and rush a little caving. So we have enough leathers, and all I really want now is some sugarcane. So I'm gonna quickly look across this river that I should have probably looked more carefully at earlier. There's a jungle over there, which is very exciting. Neighboring biomes to a jungle probably would have reeds, which is a good thing to keep in mind. We'll take one quick peek here. Oh, I see two, which means there could be more. Also, this would be a good time to look around for, well, some people will probably look around for our jungle temple. I will not be doing that this season. because that can often take a lot of time and it doesn't really go with my strategy, unfortunately. But with that out of the way, I don't have much else to say in terms of game strategy. We have a lot more skilled players playing this season. Newcomer Ben, a lot of old comers and newcomers. Well, one newcomer and, all the new players alike, which is very exciting, I think, to see some more traditional game styles with probably some modern inspired ones. It's pretty fun. But without further ado, let me make sure I don't have a lot of wood, so I want to get 2 more trees before I do anything further. It would be nice to have an apple or 2, but it's not a necessity. I'm going to try and play this carefully, but you know me, that's probably not going to be the case. So let me think. Since last we spoke, I've been doing my regular things, as most things I talk about in FFA seasons are the games I've been playing, the series and movies I've been watching, maybe some of the music even. For those wondering, I will not be playing any guitar covers this season, simply because, oh gosh, it's so warm in here, that would probably be the end of me. So, not going to be the case this time. I hope you are not too dismayed. So let's talk about the first thing that I have been watching. And this is a show that I've been a fan of for the last 3 years. It is a Netflix exclusive. It's a reboot of a show from the 80s. And boy, am I impressed by the deep character stories, plot lines they're able to tell. And there are a bunch of charming characters. And insightful storytelling. It's very, very, very good. And that is She-Ra and the Princess of Power. A 2018 Netflix exclusive show for now. We'll see how that goes in the future, I suppose. Devised by a lady by the name of Noelle Stevenson, which some may know from the different comic series. Oh gosh, that was a bad time. Okay, maybe I should get good again at Apple or 2 after all. That was a bad cave to choose, it seems. But okay, this one might be better. Okay, let me get one apple. That's gonna put our game plan down a little bit, but I don't know for sure. I was really close to first damage apparently, which is exciting. Oh, hello, sir. Gosh, I do not like that the fire is helping you not take knockback. That's bad news bears all around. So I was talking about She-Ra and the Princess of Power and Noelle Stevenson. She's been a writer for several different Marvel comics, DC comics as well. She's had her own comic series, and she also did work on Wander Over Yonder, the Disney animated show, which I've heard a lot of good things about. I haven't been able to see it yet, but I've heard really good things. I would like to watch it at some point. But I think she's done a really good job crafting a story for these 5 seasons that has been able to be engaging throughout, honestly, most of the time anyway. And that's really, really cool in my eyes to be able to do something like that. So I guess to, go into further detail, because I feel like I shouldn't, just go in with a generic way of talking about this stuff. She-Ra is, I guess you could call it an adventure story most of all. And it is a show that takes equal care of what you would see as good and what you would see as evil. And as most stories try to do these days, they try to have there be a clear delineation between light and darkness, good and evil, and stuff like that, really fill in the grays of morality and stuff. Which, that I think most of all that can create some really engaging stories for sure. With some, better success here and there. You really need to take a lot of care into what you're saying and the subtext of the scenes you're crafting, I think, and it could easily go bad. It could easily backfire on you, and maybe subconsciously or not even by choice in the matter, you're creating a story that puts some really bad actions into good light. And that's, that, gosh, there's stories you could tell there, but that could easily go bad in so many directions. And I think this show is able to take some chances, but is also very careful just about giving each character humanity more than painting actions in black and white. So it all starts with this main character called Adora and her best friend Catra, and they haven't really grown up in the best of places. They've grown up in this society that looks at things pretty black and white. And the purposes for their actions might not be the best, unfortunately. So I'm gonna get some... Oh gosh, I am not being fast at all, I feel. But I'm definitely gonna make a shield here. Try and speed that along. There we go. And without going into the specifics, Adora figures out something, that her homeland might not be what she expected it to be, that some of the things she's been told through education and through parental figures might not be that actual reality, and reality, that's very subjective in the first place. You could have a whole thesis about that. But I think that kind of incites the whole story that causes her to leave her home and try to figure out what she wants to do, really. And that's pretty exciting, first and foremost. That creates a really good inciting incident for the main character and makes her a much more active character in the storytelling, which is super important. It's just nice to also see a strong female character. That shows are getting better about that stuff, but boy, there were times where shows were not as good about that. I mean, the original She-Ra did do that because that was all about having a strong female character. Several, from what I understand, which is pretty neat. Oh, hello. Someone's been there apparently. That's interesting. Okay, so, gosh, do I even want to go into more specifics about that show? I like the art style. I think that can be very subjective. Some people might not be, but I do like that very solid line art, solid colors. There's a really good use of color palettes in that show, which I like. They have a lot of backgrounds that tell stories of their own, that adds a lot of detail to the world. Very exciting, as one that cares a lot about world building and such. So I like that stuff for sure. There are side characters that have engaging stories, but they fortunately I wish to do more with them, but that's just how the nature of the format of having seasons only 12 or 13 episodes, that you can only give side characters like one episode most of the time, and that's unfortunate. I wish that wasn't the case, but it's the way of the world, I suppose. And I guess if you've heard anything of this show, most of you might not even have. You may have heard at the announcement of that show that it was, being criticized before people had even watched it. That it was criticized for this virtue signaling, this social justice warrior, very, labelings that I don't think are really cool to use, but just for the context of forgive you context about the criticism it received that time, I guess I'm going to use it for now. And you could say that she probably, that the creator Noelle Stevenson probably had a certain intent while creating the show, that any show is any story is crafted based on your own lived experience, and I definitely think that was the case in this story. Because as far as I'm aware, Noelle is queer and is in a lesbian relationship, from what I could gather. That they are married as well. And that, you know, that colors definitely the story she wants to tell. And I think she managed to still create a really evocative and a story that hasn't been told in fiction that much. And I think it's not just based on those values that it's strong, but it adds to it for sure. I think on its own it still just tells a strong story about togetherness. You know, that can get really vague as well, because, you know, a lot of stories are about that. It's about coming together, and through the power of friendship you'll stay strong and stuff like that. But it also tells stories of trauma and telling stories of bad parenting and how that affects your lived experience and perception of the world around you, and how you can cope with abuse and abusers, and how you can continue on living from that, and how you may not cope with that, and the ways you can sort of be left self-destructive as a result. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that show. A lot of experiences that I haven't lived, so I can't say for sure that, you know, it does that accurately or it works for everyone that's experienced that kind of stuff. But I think it's super good. It seems, at least, so. Oh gosh. Buddy, okay. I'm playing really bad right now, so I think I'm gonna start focusing not so much on talking, because I feel like that's gonna be the enemy, because I'm focusing more on talking fluently about the show. Gosh, this is bad news, huh? Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna stop. Sorry, Tommy. I didn't mean to do this. I'm very sorry, buddy. Yeah, this sounds like super bad news bears over here. So I probably shouldn't like be even over here, in all honesty, but you know, I picked my route, so I'm gonna stick with it. Oh, this is even more bad news bears, huh? Oh, right. Hey, buddy. Oh, gosh. Okay. Hi. Do you want to just not do this? Because I would love to not do this. Personally, in my personal opinion, I think I'm just gonna have a very boring perspective right now, and I hope that's cool with you. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep on mining for now. Oh god, okay. Well, I guess we're not ever gonna do anything productive ever again. Oh god, okay, I'm gonna block things off. We're gonna play things super carefully. And we're gonna play a very different game than I was expecting. Welcome to Minecraft the horror game. I hope you enjoy. I feel like I'm having flashbacks to previous WMC season. I wonder why. Yeah, so now that I'm being more careful, I'm not gonna say anything else about she or the show. Oh gosh, help! Maybe I should just go to the Nether at this point, who knows? Yeah, I'm not gonna say any more details. If that intrigued you, I hope you check it out. If not, that's totally fine. You know, there's a lot of people that don't have a Netflix subscription and don't really approve of having those services, because that hurts art in general. There's a lot of things to say there, but at the moment that's the only way for me to experience that show, and I really want to experience it, so just how it is, I suppose. The other show that I've been watching, oh no, so I'm being bad to artists again, because this is another Netflix exclusive show. This is called Hilda. It's based on a comic series, graphic novels, by Luke Pearson, who also did a bunch of work on Adventure Time. Hi, man! So I guess one way you could try and save yourself from a creeper is like by capturing it. Oh, and we will see you next episode.